Good morning and welcome back to our devotion. I've taken the liberty to take out from Second Corinthians chapter 6 verse 2. It says, "Now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation." To ponder on the topic, using your time for God. And I want to support it with Matthew chapter 25 verse 13. Of course, it talks about Jesus coming back and taking us home when no one knows the hour. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour. I just want to understand the concept of, we do not know exactly when we will be living, or when we will be leaving this earthly existence for the heavenly one. Just want to compare these two. My son, Mr. Wiwangbo, my second son, he has a watch. He wears it all day long. He doesn't want to remove it. The problem with him is that he does not know how to look at the watch and tell us the time. Many of us, we are wearing the clock of life on our hands, and we know that we do not know exactly when our life here on earth we will come to an end, and we will go to the other existence. Of course, I do not want to be so otherworldly here, but I think we have a spiritual existence as well as much as the physical existence. So I think we need to be really careful of things that matter to us the most. Now, when we talk about 2 Corinthians 6:2, now is the time of salvation. What I understand from this passage is that you have to use your time now so that we can save. We can do something worthwhile that is meaningful and that matters most in the clock of eternity. I learned the concept of giving tithing time when a lady who teaches music, quite a prominent teacher in Singapore, when she came and stayed with us for about 2-3 months, and she comes to India on a sabbatical of like a month and teaches us free music with our harp all the way from Singapore. So I think when we consider this, I asked her, how come, teaching music for free, she said, it's a challenge that I've taken, that I want to tithe my time for God. I think this is a beautiful concept which I think every one of us should try to follow. And then I want to share a story of really what happened in 1845, the Franklin expedition. I think we must have heard so much about this. The Franklin expedition was searching for a passage to the Arctic regions. And what happened was, the important lesson that I want to draw is, these people, 2 ships were being sent under the guidance of Lord Franklin, John Franklin. What happened was, they carried so much of books. When the white people, when the Westerners go from place to place, they carry everything around. In the mission compound that I teach, I've seen the 1920 refrigerator which runs on a kerosene, and I've seen the bathtubs, and I've seen all those. They carried so much wherever they went, these people. So Franklin expedition also had something like this. They had 1,000 volumes of books. They had silverwares and gold and this and goblets and with your names printed on it, but they carried less fuel, enough fuel. They just carried enough fuel. A life is like this, and we know what happened to the expedition, the Franklin expedition. None of them came back alive. Even in our lives, what matters to us, we give we don't prioritize well, so that what matters to us, we don't give much time on the spiritual aspects, whereas the other things we do so much, we spend so much time on those things that are so materialistic, that will soon die out with time. So we have to spend more time on the things that matters to us in the clocks of eternity. I want to share the last story about my brother. I think Dr. Kangam, he passed away in Delhi in 2014, and thank you so much, my SV friends, for praying and staying with us. We were so weak and he made us really strong. Thank you so much for all the brothers and sisters here. The thing is, after he passed away, I had to take my dad and mom to Delhi to settle everything. When we went there, I was surprised. I kind of entered his room. I saw stacks of books. Entered his car. I saw books there, pens and things and that. He had a future. He had so many plans ahead. But God's time is uncertain. What I want to share and challenge is we may have so much of time on our hands. We may not know exactly what God has told, what God has in store for us. We have to use the time that God has given us wisely. We may have so many plans like my brother had. He was planning to write exams. He was planning to, go for his further studies. So much of plans like many of the doctors have. Then we saw how his life was cut short. And I just want to challenge all my brothers and sisters to think about using your time when what God gives you in a very prioritizing it in the clocks of eternity. Make things that matters to us most must be given priority. So with this, I want to say God bless us all.